All right, guys, we're gonna see what we got, and then we'll make up our mind as to what we're doing. Um, More than likely, we may be jumping in with a little bit more Finn, but I'm not gonna can't say for sure until we check out the situation with the creation. We tried our hands at doing a Wabbajack mod list. Excuse me. And so it may have messed up our creations a little bit. So we need to go in and check it. You can see every time I go in to creations when I'm going to load the game proper, it is a bit, it has to connect and then figure things out. So we loaded, or I was attempting to play the Wabbajack mod list Melios. And unfortunately, and see, every time I come in here, you see this? Every single time. This is updated, right? You see, so, okay, so maybe we're lucky and only these are updated. Okay. I can get down with that. All right, so we're going to update this one. We're going to update this one. Hey, there's no guarantee. We're going to update that this is going to update. All right. All right. So those are the only ones that technically need to be updated. I do want to, well, it's too late now. I can't do it. There's no point in doing it. One of the things that came up was the stupid, um, I wanted the, when I went and did Melius, of course, you're starting with a brand new character, and I wanted something to hold off Watchtower until later, and you know, and I'm like, I wanted to look in here and see if there was something that would hold off Watchtower, but I'm like, well, it's not needed for this. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. What's more than likely going to happen here? Now, one of the things you're supposed to do, or it's supposed to be, is so we get all the way down here. You see, we got a lot of creations loaded here, a lot of mods loaded up in here. So, Darkstar female suit. Okay, so boom, and then Darkstar at Hell's Gate. Boom, and then Astrodynamics always at the bottom. Roll your own start. Cost of spacing. Um. Yep. So one of the other things too we want to make sure is that we have everything loaded. They're out of order from what I last. I always put the gear mods towards the bottom, and then Darkstar and all of its stuff afterwards. And then I always put Darkstar Astrodynamics at the very bottom. Okay, so here comes the big test. All right. Yes, we know. And it's going to crash. Yeah. All right, so we'll jump back in with Finn, maybe. Yeah, it's two things, right? So here's the funny thing. So when I was doing Melius and I had to go in there and get it, it didn't crash and it went and I was able to load into the game just fine. Problem was the music, and you see here, this really bugs me to know. Um, so I was able to, and it would hitch like you wouldn't believe. It would freeze. The music would cut out. The lip sync would be off so badly at times, where you watch the whole mouthing of it, and then once the mouthing was done, then the actual audio would play, and I'm like, oh my god, right? And it was just awful. But I will say this, so yeah, I played about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and what I didn't realize was OBS was set to record Xbox gameplay and not my computer. And then so I got me talking for 2.5 hours with just the Xbox, main screen. Yeah. And I was so pissed. But I was doubly pissed because of how crap. And then, it's like I just went through 2 hours, and I gotta be honest with you, it was awful. Melius was awful. And I went through 2.5 hours of trying to play this game. One thing right here, okay, and I don't really give two rats butts what anybody has to say about it. You see that reticle there? I will not play without it. You see it? If I don't see it, I'm not playing your game. If you create a game that doesn't have a reticle in it or the ability to put one in there, I will not play your game. Plain and simple. I just can't. That's just it. It's me, 100%. So Melius takes away the reticle. I know there's supposedly ways to get it back in there, right? So in my thought process was, I'll just get through this and then I'll put it in there. But I was so frustrated by the end. Two, Darkstar isn't the great Darkstar game overhaul isn't the best overhaul ever. It is probably one of the more comprehensive overhauls where you just use that and it will overhaul a lot of the the combat AI and stuff like that. And then that is the pros for Darkstar game overhaul. The combat AI overhaul. The bullet sponginess of the enemies is a con. It's not okay, but is acceptable along with the pros that come with it. Understand? I understand people want, games where you can, am I okay with not being able to headshot my enemy? Yeah, I guess I am if it means I won't get headshot too. You know what I mean? Because well, how many times, the point, and here's the difference, okay? And then we'll get over here and talk to Torin in a minute. Here's the biggest here's the difference between this game and Call of Duty. Call of Duty is
You
a
ever just
player
stop and
versus
forget what you
player,
were doing?
PvP,
You know?
PvE, all that kind of
Listening?
stuff. But the whole
Great.
point of it is you go into the game and you're trying to take out your enemy. And they're trying to take you out. And the last thing you want to do is have to sit there and, hit them 3,000, hit them with like 3 clips before they actually go down. And yeah, you want to be able to snipe and do that. Because the whole point is, you take them out, they'll respawn, and then they'll, come back in and they'll try to take you out.
You always show up right when I'm
And
thinking
it's
about
all
you.
about, how
Makes
many
me happy.
times you can take the enemy out. Because what are they going to do? They're going to keep respawning and keep coming back into the battle. This is an RPG. This is your character, and you're trying to build your character up to be better and better and better and better. But you don't want to just keep respawning every 15 seconds. That's not the point of the game here. That's not the point of this game. So, will I trade not getting one shot over and over and over again? Yes, I will trade that if I have to empty two clips into, you know what I mean? Because the harder the enemy is, the more XP I expect to get from the enemy, right? And the higher level I go, the harder I expect the enemies to be. So it's a
Not saying you can get
different
better.
story, and I'm not looking to make this into Call of Duty. I don't want it to be Call of Duty. If I wanted Call of Duty, I'd play Call of Duty. I don't want it to be Elden Ring either, or Souls. I don't want to be, whatever the Souls game or whatever, because if I wanted that, I would be playing those. What we're doing here is we're playing RPG, character building, relationship building, all kinds of stuff, and then my thing is, if you don't want that, then don't play this game, right? And it to me, I can't get behind mods that try to take those elements out of the game. It's like you're trying to mod a game to be what it's not supposed to be. Same, like Skyrim and Fallout. It's like you're trying to make Skyrim's mechanics work a certain way that they weren't meant to work in the first place. I can understand. Yeah, we want to. There's certain types of mods that make sense to add to the game, and certain changes. But again, the fundamental purpose of this game is to be an RPG. And as far as I can tell, and just my experience with Call of Duty, it's not an RPG. I mean, they're trying to, and the closer and closer they make it to an RPG, the less and less people like that. And the more complaints about the game, as far as I understand. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's like, come on. So, and then I guess that's because, and then what you're hearing now is just my frustration with Melius and with just how, I got to be honest with how poor the gameplay was for me, in my opinion, and how much unlike the game that I know and love that game was that I was playing. And then it's frustrating too because now I can't share that with you guys. So you could see just how frustrated I was and hear all the swearing and all the just
Ah, and there
hatred
he
that
is.
was being spewed
Welcome
out of my
to
mouth
Stardock Alpha, my
while trying
current
to play
home
that
away from
mod
home.
list.
Glad you found your way here.
Well, nice station you got here. Um, this isn't a social call. You're gonna explain what happened.
I understand, and I'll even ignore the attitude. Getting ambushed is enough to make anyone tetchy. I imagine you have a lot of questions, and I do have answers for you. But first, we need to talk about the people who attacked you.
All right, I'm listening. Tell me what I need to know.
The group that attacked you, they're called Watchtower. Not surprised if you've never heard of them. To say they're clandestine would be an understatement. From what I've gathered, it seems they've made it their life's work to hunt down and confine individuals they consider dangerous. Individuals like you. And me.
They're hunting you too?
They sure are. I've had more than a few run-ins with good old Watchtower. Most encounters have not gone well. I think I first got their attention after I dealt with a particularly nasty group of pirates. Since then, I've done my best to keep my head down, but it doesn't matter. Sooner or later, they always seem to catch up to you.
Why do they consider me dangerous?
That's a good question. I mean, you seem capable, but there's plenty of people out there like that, so that can't be it. No, it's gotta be something else. Something more unique? Huh.
Hmm. Well, they couldn't figure it out themselves. They were like, they couldn't figure out why I popped. So maybe, okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about them?
What can you say about a secretive galaxy-wide organization? I don't know. I can offer some information, but a lot of this will be conjecture. Given how well they hide themselves, I think it stands to reason Watchtower has infiltrated the major governments. Maybe the larger corporations too. And their technology, I don't know if they created it themselves, but what they have is cutting edge and dangerous. Oh, and the most important thing. If Watchtower gets their hands on someone, chances are you'll never see that person again.
Hmm. Maybe I do know why they're interested
Don't
in
keep
me.
me in suspense. Let's hear it.
I recently touched an artifact and had some visions. Maybe that's why they think I'm dangerous.
Visions, you say? Well, that certainly sounds unique, but dangerous? Look, it may be none of my business, but this vision-giving artifact of yours, it may warrant further investigation. When you have the time, I'd encourage you look into it. Who knows? Maybe it can provide answers to both your previous question and others, too.
Hmm. You're not just trying to lead me down a. All right, look, enough speculation. Only Watchtower really is going to know what they're wanting from me.
True enough. Still, it doesn't hurt to ponder their motives.
Okay, so that's the name we got for him.
I'm glad you think so. But unfortunately for now, that's where the good news ends. Let me explain. When Watchtower came for you, I'm sure their method of capture didn't escape your notice. For people like us, Watchtower like to employ a particular device, a kind of energy weapon. The first blast disables your ship, the second disables you, leaving you absolutely helpless and at Watchtower's tender mercy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you're not the only one. First time I got hit, the next thing I saw was my lunch in reverse. Now, I'm a little sparse on the details, but I do know they call this weapon the Synapse Disruptor, which seems an apt name if you ask me. Oh, and here's the worst part. There's no foolproof counter to the disruptor. None at all. Believe me, I've looked. I've tried. There's nothing.
I don't know. Everything has a weakness.
Well, glad you're staying optimistic. All right, let me backtrack and rephrase things. There is no technological counter to this weapon. No magic shields or special kind of hull plating. But this brings me to why I made contact. I have devised a strategy that would keep you and me safe from Watchtower's impromptu abductions. But the catch is, it's not something I can do alone. And it's gonna take effort. I'm gonna need your help on this. And you're gonna need mine.
Mm. All right. Wait. So what if they do finally capture me, though?
Oh man, you do not want to know. Well, actually, you do. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you did just ask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how do I say this? Everyone has potential, though most never quite reach it. If Watchtower captures you, it's not just your freedom they take. They steal from you your full potential. That was a terrible answer.
Mm-hmm.
Probably made no sense.
Mm-mm.
Just know that Watchtower will lock you up and throw away the figurative key. You're at the start of a great journey. Watchtower would take that away from you. That's why you need to avoid them.
All right, well, tell me about the synapse disruptor.
Huh. I mean, I'm no expert, but it does seem like an incredibly sophisticated weapon. Definitely more powerful than a common variety stunner. Never ran across anything like it. Say what you like about Watchtower, but they've got some damn fancy tech at their disposal. As best as I can tell, the disruptor can't knock you out if your ship still has power, which is likely why its first shot disables your ship's systems.
How did they find me?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Kinda wish I knew myself. Because however they found you, it's likely the same way they keep finding me. All I know is that you'll be minding your own business, then without warning, in jump a whole bunch of Watchtower ships. And they're not aiming to kill you, they're trying to capture you. And believe me, you do not want to be captured by them.
Okay. A minute. Wait. Hold on. Let's backtrack a minute. How did you find me?
Well, that one I can answer. You see, I was already on the lookout for you. I knew Watchtower would be searching for you, and I also knew they'd probably find you before I did. So I kept an eye on Watchtower comm lines, waited to see if any patrols reported spotting you, or worse, capturing you. Which they did. And since they launched a comm beacon, I was able to intercept that, and then follow its trail back to where you were. Just in time to save your ass. Which, by the way, you are most welcome for.
Yeah, but how did you? And thank you, by the way. But how did you know they were looking for me?
Huh. That's a fair
I
question.
think it's a pretty good question.
I'm trying to think of how to answer without worrying you too much.
Oh goodness.
Okay, a while back, I got my hands on a Watchtower database. Your name showed up a lot. Most of the information was encrypted, but there seemed to be a lot of it. I couldn't tell you why, but Watchtower has been keeping tabs on you for some time.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this strategy of yours.
It's fairly simple, really. Maybe you already noticed, but Watchtower's disruptor. It takes a while to charge between bursts. And as long as your ship has power, it needs to hit you at least twice in order to incapacitate. Now, if you're flying about all by your lonesome, it's not too difficult for Watchtower to blast you as many times as they need. But what if you weren't by yourself? What if you had the support of other ships?
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
In a nutshell, here's my strategy. You don't fly alone anymore. Instead, you get some buddies. You get more ships. You get a fleet. Then, even if Watchtower track you down and get a shot in with their disruptor, with other ships there to cover you, they'd never get a second hit, giving you time to recover, get back in the fight, and avoid capture. Think about it. It makes sense, right?
Well, great. Yeah. All right. Thanks for telling me your plan. Now I don't need you. All right. It, it sounds like a pretty good plan. Almost think it could work.
Okay, good. I'm happy you're on board with this fleet idea. You know that the first time that we... Oh, right. Yeah, we've not really been introduced yet, have we?
Right. No.
Let's rectify that. My name's Torin. Just Torin.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say I'm a traveler. Yeah, I travel the stars. Here and there, and sometimes back again.
Mm. Born to travel the stars, right?
It's, likely during those
Starborn.
travels, I got the attention of Watchtower.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably why you got their
Tried to
attention.
Shake them off ever since.
Mm-hmm. Which is why it's related to the artifact. They know what I'm going to be. You travel? Um, what kind of? I'm doing the same thing. Why would I? Okay, good to know you. I'm Finn, and again, thank you for the help.
Think nothing of it. Just doing what's right. Okay then, if we're going to make this fleet idea work, it's about time we get a move on before Watchtower catches us with our pants down.
Well, I don't think I want to be captured by them, especially with my pants down, or up for that matter.
You and me both. Here's how we're going to pull this fleet thing off. First, we need some hardware, equipment, especially designed to handle this sort of thing. Had a pal look into it, and he figured out what we'll need. A Model 2 Fleet Sync control node. And he knows where we can find one, too. But the problem is, control node's not easily accessible. It's stored away in an old facility with no simple way in. But I got a solution for that. Here, catch!
Whoa! What's this? Looks like a grenade.
That is our solution. You ever hear about the orbital drops the UC and Freestar Collective did during the Colony War?
The illegal
Basically,
ones?
troops planet-side would toss down a flare, like the one I just gave you. It would mark a spot, and then depending on what the flare signaled, ships in orbit would fire down whatever was requested. Emergency backup, supplies, or sometimes just a good old airstrike. Or orbit strike, I guess. They called them skydrops. Very versatile, very useful, and now very illegal. Forbidden by the armistice. At least for the military. But we're not military. I got a skydrop system rigged up to my ship, and that's what we're going to use to get into that facility and grab the hardware we need.
Wait. How does this skydrop thing get us into the facility?
Ah, come on, I don't want to ruin the surprise. That's half the fun. Before revealing the specifics, I'll let your imagination run wild just a little while longer.
We really need some special hardware to create a fleet?
The thinking behind them was, when you're in the heat of battle, you never know what you might
hit the wrong
need,
one.
or when you might need it. So, if you found yourself in some trouble, just hit some buttons on a flare, toss it down, and a few seconds later, whatever you needed, there it is. Although, no system is perfect. Skydrop has its drawbacks. First, being you need at least one manned ship in orbit with a Skydrop system installed. Second, that ship needs to be loaded with whatever it is you require. Ship can't drop what it doesn't have. And lastly, Skydrop is a bulky system. Usually you need a large ship to accommodate it. However, I've discovered some workarounds for that issue.
All right, let's go. Let's get it.
That's what I like to hear. Time to get moving. Jump in your ship and meet me outside. Hail me when you're ready and we'll plot a course. I'm glad we're doing this. You and me. We'll show Watchtower they picked the wrong people to mess with. This time.
Where's Vasco? Why does Vasco not follow me on everywhere? I didn't dismiss her. All right, so first things first. Let's pick the right what do you call it? Quest line.
Eridani 3 in the Eridani system. Once we're there, we can get things started. You good to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay then. Power up your grav drive and take point. I'll be right behind you.
Let's do it. All right, so 97 units of fuel.
Jump complete. All systems steady.
108.
And here we are at sunny Eridani 3. Alright, power up your scanners and do a sweep of the planet. See if we can find our facility. Receiving your telemetry. There it is. I see our facility, near one of the poles. Huh. Gren wasn't kidding. Most of it's buried under ice. Won't be easy to get inside. But no problem. That's why we've got Skydrop. All we need to do is... Hey, I'm detecting incoming ships. They're small. Look like drones. Watchtower drones, damn! They probably detected our scan. We'll have to deal with them before we can head to the planet's surface. Don't worry, these things aren't big enough to carry disruptors. Still, they can do some damage, so let's take them out as fast as we can. Once you're there, I'll provide further instructions.
Land ship, find facility. Let's do it.
Make sure you keep warm. Conditions down there don't seem overly hospitable. Okay, have a good landing.
It's a little worrisome that we can't hear the boost.
We're on approach.
Facility
you're looking for shouldn't be too far away. Make your way there and I'll start prepping Skydrop.
Wait, why are we using this one? Oh, but only because it has the most ammo. Oh, okay. That's good.
Looks like you're there. Okay, here's what you need to do. In order for Skydrop to work, the ship deploying needs pinpoint coordinates and a drop request. So, take out that flare I gave you, punch in a request for a surface missile, then throw the flare near the exposed portion of the facility. That's right, we're blasting this sucker open. And I've only got one missile on board, so make sure you don't mess up. Okay, that's a good read. System's got a lock, missile loaded, Skydrop deploying. Ha! Nice work. Now we've got to wait inside. Oh, shit. Perhaps I should have mentioned this sooner. This isn't the Watchtower facility we're breaking into. I didn't expect them to have max. Your weapons won't scratch it. We just use our only Skydrop. Oh, I got an idea. Get some distance between you and that mech. Now.
I'm trying to get some distance. I'm getting lit up.
Remember, Watchtower is still looking to capture you. So find the control node, get back to Stardock, and my friends there will help you. Don't see each other again. Best of luck. Hey, you want to see something cool? Fix your eyes on the mech. And say goodbye in 3, 2, 1. Touchdown.
Whoa. Ladies, you're on fire. Let's go, you're on fire. How you doing? Oh, wrong button. So are we to expect mechs every single time we go to one of these places? Okay. Whatever we're looking for is over there. How do we get down? Where?
The enemy is no longer visible. Searching.
Anyone up here? No. We can live with that. I'm sure there's more. Where? What are you doing down here? Oh, loot. Okay. Good call. Alright, how about we get out of here? Okay, let's see. Where's that coming from?
Do not attempt combat with us. You will not survive.
Okay, requires a key. Wait, is there a turret right there?
I've noticed the way you look at me. Thought I'd return the favor.
Oh, well, sounds good to me. Well, what I'm trying to figure out is why are you guys in your spacesuits and I'm not? Did it go all the way around or is there multiple? So, excuse me. Whoa. Oh, wow. So, right off the bat, it just feels so much better in this game than the other one. The other one just sucks, man. We gotta check over here first. Just make sure we haven't missed anything. See?
You work better when I'm not talking, don't you?
I wouldn't have said that. You think you're distracting me? Or are you just projecting? You work better when I'm not talking. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so we overrode some security.
Might start talking to myself soon. Fair warning.
Hmm. We don't want to go there yet.
Wish I had something deep to say, but nah. Whatever you're doing, it looks very intense. Proud of you.
Anything? Here I am. This place is bigger than I expected. I thought it would be, it would just be a small outpost. On onboarding was intense. They don't waste time. I'm starting to have second thoughts about my posting. A high-ranking agent arrived yesterday. Corvette landed in the main bay, though getting the doors open was a struggle. Ice build-up's been severe. The injured agent who had arrived by Corvette didn't make it. Thanks to the bay doors being frozen shut, it took too long to get him to medical.
I like being here. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
Statistically likely to survive this.
Is there another one? There is. Where? Can you guys get out of the way?
Is that it?
Security continues to flag munitions. I can't even. Stock levels are within expected parameters, given current supply delays. If they require expedited restock, they'll need to submit formal requisition requests through the proper channels. How you doing?
Can't complain. Well, I could, but I'll spare you.
Hmm. Okay. Why don't you sit down and make yourself comfortable? All right, let's see what we got. Mm-hmm. All right, log. Okay. No, I will not label the switches unless ordered to. Yes, it's inconvenient for the uninformed. And then, if you're incapable of remembering basic operations, you should reconsider your position here. Obviously. Okay. 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 Isn't it supposed to be written down somewhere, though? How do we document something that's not written down? Okay. Government cheese. Can you get out the way? Okay. Let's do this.
Let me know if you need backup or coffee.
What level am I? Oh, heck yeah. What am I doing? And I'm over encumbered. Oops. Took the wrong thing over. Where is this one? Uh-huh. What is going on with this one? That's weird. All right, let's see what we got. Request an immediate reassignment from this facility. T. Bellamy. You got distribution, initialization, insulation, and oscillation. Uh-huh. All right. Initialize the system. So initialize. Power the insulators, followed by the oscillators. So initialize, insulate, oscillate, distribute. All right, the turrets are on our side. All right, so we got to initialize. And then we got to insulate, oscillate, and now distribute. This is where we came in, huh? Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. Anything good? Another ladder. Excuse me. Pardon me. Anything good? All right. Now we got to get up out of here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, you found it. All by yourself, too. Well done.
Hey, you're alive, man. No one could have survived that crash.
You so sure? I mean, here I am. And I don't seem to be dead. Guess I do have some explaining to do. But not here. Not now. We'll be safer back at Stardock. We can talk more there. And also get started on your fleet.
Fair enough. Let's get going.
Sounds good to me. Now call me crazy, but I don't think my ship is going to be flying anytime soon. So I'm going to have to bum a ride. Don't worry though, I am a great co-pilot. I only ever crash ships when I mean to. Okay, let's head back to... Was that you or me?
Yeah, I had a lunch. You know, beans.
Control system. Containment protocols engaged. Area sealed.
Huh. Evidently, pulling that control node had one or two unforeseen consequences. Oh, no. No. We are not... This isn't... We cannot fight this thing. It's shields. There's no way we can get through those. The firepower needed to... Wait, I think I got a plan. Stay here and get behind some damn cover.
One second. Just checking. Let's see some systems. But it does have a synapse disruptor. Perfect. One small snafu. Corvette doesn't have power. It is umbilical to the facility's reactor. Here's the plan. We can draw power from the facility. You just need to flip some breaker switches. Should be 4 of them around the hangar bay. I'll regulate things from here. You flip those switches fast as you can.
System integrity at risk. System integrity at risk. We evaluating threat level.
Threat level. If you're reevaluating threat level, oh shoot.
Evaluating threat level. Enemy presence nullified.
No time for messing around. Come on, flip those switches.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. All right, one switch.
Okay, good start. Power started flowing, but we'll still need more. Don't stop now.
Register. Register.
Where's the other thing? Oh, there it is, over there. That's what I was
Evaluating threat level.
Wait a minute. Those shields are too...
Evaluating threat level.
Uh-oh.
Evaluating threat level.
I should be 0 threat level right now, right? That's where I want to get to.
Breakers! Nice! But the Corvette's still thirsty. Keep it up!
Where I was trying to get to. Hold on a second.
Get to those switches! We're still short on juice!
I'm trying to, man. Where's the view?
Come on.
I know. I figured that would be easier. Well, I stumbled across that a long time ago. So all you do is just come in
Got a
here,
second?
loot the crap out of everything, and then you're not running all around trying to pop switches and getting shot at just so you can, you know what I mean? Oop.
Yep. Still standing.
We gotta go find Sonny Jim. There he is. Well, hello.
Well, look at you. Now that's what I call thinking outside the box. I'll have to remember that strategy. Good job finding that security card. You clearly put the work in. Gave this place a good perusing.
Well, it seemed like the
You'll
best
get no
thing.
argument from me. Like I said, I'll have to remember that one for next time. Well, lockdown's over and we have the control node. We can finally leave this place. Come on, let's hightail it back to Stardock.
See, now I probably could have looted afterwards, but just to make sure we didn't lose the opportunity, right?
Can we talk?
Oh,
Miss me?
you've been a little distant lately. Everything all right?
I've been thinking about Tobin. He could drive me up the wall with all his talk, but he mattered to me. More than I realized until he was gone.
He was important to you.
He saw through my defenses. Didn't care when I pushed back. Just kept showing up. He believed in me. Even when I didn't give him a reason to. When he died, it felt like someone cut the gravity. Like part of me went untethered. I didn't know what to hold on to anymore. But you kept me grounded. You didn't try to fix it. You just stood there, held the line, and gave me space to breathe. And that helped me more than I can say.
Well, you weren't alone. Not then, and not now.
I'm not used to leaning on anyone. But with you, it doesn't feel weak.
Well, that's good.
Kind of annoying, honestly. Now I have to admit you're good for me. And just... I mean, you do know I like you, right? Just putting that out there, in case it wasn't obvious.
That's a lot of words for I'm falling for you.
Look, flirting isn't exactly on my resume. I improvise. Poorly. And also, shut up. You're making this harder. Stars, help me. I really like you.
Well, you know, I can't blame you one bit. I like me too.
I'm not saying you make my day better. I'm just not denying it.
No, I don't know where I'm going. No, I don't know how to get out of here. And we're out.
Authorization verified. You are cleared to dock.
We're locked in. Clear to board.
Torin! Why is it every time we get back from a supply run, you're nowhere to be found? Is it really that hard to stay put and not leave the station unattended?
Ah, you're exaggerating. It's not every time. Besides, Babs was here.
Babs can't regulate the station's power core. You know, the unstable power core.
So, how was your supply run? Those surgeon guys have everything you need?
No, they didn't. Per usual. And don't think I didn't notice you changing the subject.
I noticed it too.
Speaking of changing the subject, let me introduce my friend here.
I'm sorry if we caused you any trouble.
Don't worry, you didn't. Torin, on the other hand.
This is the person I told you about, Harper. The one I was looking for. He was very almost a permanent guest of Watchtower. Thankfully, though, I was there to save his sorry ass. Instead of waiting alone on an empty station,
Ouch.
whittling my thumbs.
Oh, I see. Huh. Then I guess you had a good excuse to not be here. You're off the hook. This time.
1,000 thank yous, my fair lady. Thy generosity is truly boundless.
Put a sock in it, Torin. And you, Torin's friend? From what I understand, you be no fan of Watchtower, right? If you want to give them a bloody lip, come talk to me when you have a moment. Got a job for you.
That's Harper. Stardock belongs to her as much as it belongs to anyone. She lets a few of us hang out here, provided we don't misbehave.
What can you tell me about this Harper? Can we trust her?
If you already trust me, then sure, you can trust her too. I do. It's thanks to her Stardock is even up and running in the first place. And I wasn't kidding about her being generous. She's good people. As for more personal details, you should go ask her yourself. I don't think she'd object to sharing.
What is the station?
Stardock! Well, now it is, but it's really only had that name for the past few months. Before that, it laid abandoned for a decade or so. And before that, I think it was some sort of outpost during the Colony War? You should ask Harper about it. She knows more about this place than I do.
Who's a few of us?
Let's see. There's me, Gren, and the occasional drifter. And I suppose now you as well. Harper's got a soft spot for the dispossessed. That's for sure.
Now, more importantly, how did you survive that crash?
Yes. That. I had an escape pod of sorts ready to go. I never intended for a suicide run, but still, there was a risk I wouldn't make it. When crashing your ship into a planet, there's not exactly a safe way to do that. Obviously, I survived and didn't die horribly, which is always nice, but my escape did put me a little farther away from you than I would have hoped. Sorry to leave you hanging like I did, but I had no way to contact you. I just made my way back as fast as I could. But you did just fine without me. And I knew you would.
All right, so we got the control node. What's next?
For that, we need to go talk with Gren. He's a ship engineer. Can help us get everything set up and installed. You've not met him yet, so maybe I should... Gren maybe isn't what you'll be expecting. But you don't need to worry about him. He's on our side.
On our side? What do you mean by that?
I mean exactly what I said. He's on our side, and I fully trust him. We should head over to Gren's workshop. Or, I suppose we could go to the bar, talk with Harper first. She did seem to want you for something. It's up to you what we do.
I get
Lead
that a lot
and
from
I will
women.
follow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on now. No need to panic. Gren's one of us.
Apologies if I caused distress. Maybe I should remove my helmet.
Oh, actually, that might... Okay.
There. Much better.
Not really. Oh yeah, better. Not unsettling at all.
Do I detect a hint of sarcasm?
Was way
Gren
more than a
is
hint.
ex-Watchtower. He's defected. No longer with them. Now he's as much their enemy as you or me. And as for his colorful appearance...
There's no need to be delicate, Torin. I won't be offended. We can speak plainly. If you're curious, please, feel free to ask any questions you might have. I'll answer what I can.
Why are you still wearing a uniform?
Simple, really. It helps keep me safe and well. And not just because it's armor. Most Watchtower members undergo changes to enhance them for their particular duties. These changes aren't entirely positive, however. There's always a number of complications. But our helmets and suits help mitigate these issues.
Why'd you leave?
Despite being augmented and conditioned by them, my loyalty to Watchtower was never strong. To me, it was always just a job. However, a chance encounter forced me to reevaluate my career choice. Learning what Watchtower does to people like you and Torin, that was something I wanted no part in. And so I deserted. Not something Watchtower takes kindly to. But for that to become a problem, they'll first need to find me.
Not to be rude. Something's going on with your face. Are you okay?
Unwell? No. In fact, right now I'm likely in better health than anyone on this station. My appearance is a result of genetic manipulation, something that most members of Watchtower are subjected to. It's a voluntary procedure, but one that's required to move up the ranks.
All right. Enough questions. We need help building the fleet.
I take it that means you recovered the control node.
Got it right here. Was exactly where you said we'd find it. Although a heads up about the mechs would have been nice.
Mechs? I'm shocked there were any remaining. They were all flagged for transfer. I hope they didn't cause too much trouble.
We're alive, aren't we? Don't worry about it. Still, you should probably work on your intel.
Intel is Harper's specialty, not mine. If you hand me the control node, we can begin building your fleet.
Here you go.
Acceptable condition. Should suffice. I've already done most of the prep work. Installing this to the main board shouldn't be difficult. Please, have a seat. Help yourself to a snack or drink. This won't take long. There. I think we're done here. The control node integrated without issue. You now have a mainframe fully capable of fleet management and coordination.
So how does this work?
Efficiently. This fleet command system I've fabricated, you should find it fairly intuitive. Go ahead, try it for yourself. Use the terminal and commission one of your other ships to your fleet.
Mm-hmm.
Use the fleet command terminal. Should be easy to figure out. And that's all you have to do. That vessel's now part of your fleet. Newly commissioned vessels will automatically follow your lead ship. But if you'd prefer different tactics, you can always change their orders. Keep in mind, at the moment, the command system can only handle one additional ship. But if you want, you can always switch a vessel out for another. I was about to suggest you assign a pilot, but I see you've already figured out how to do that yourself.
Made a good choice, too.
Congratulations. You now have an active fleet. Of course, it's only 2 ships, but in time, and with additional resources, we can grow that number.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah, we owe you one, Gren. This should at least be enough to even the odds against any Watchtower patrols that come our way.
Torin, I noticed that your ship, and the skydrop system I spent several weeks retrofitting into it, are suspiciously absent.
About that. You see, there was a situation, unavoidable, really. One thing led to another, and I ended up destroying my ship.
That does not surprise me. And now, I am doubly glad that I began work on building a second skydrop deployment system. We can integrate it into your fleet's new ship immediately. I have a feeling you will make for a better custodian for it than Torin.
Yeah.
Be advised, skydrops are used by fleet ships that remain in orbit. If you install a skydrop to your home ship, it'll be useless. Now, where did I put that vacuum tape?
Okay. So, first things first. Right. So let's go ahead and install. Okay, we got to register this guy, which means. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Okay. So this guy, we got to put the skydrop system. All right. Okay, I don't know where it would be. 'Cause I think we effed up when I hit that wrong button. So now we just gotta find it. There it is. Equipment. And then we want one of the closed ones. So like that, bottom mount, and then we can just stick it right there. Just like that. What is that? That's an engine. That's a drive, and that's an engine. Okay. Yep. Okay. Mhm. Perfect. So that's the reactor. And what kind of grav drive do you have? We just need A. Okay, 27 and 84. 27 and 84, 27, 76, 27 and 95. And yeah, there it is. It doesn't need a whole lot of extras. To make do, we'll accept that. And then, real quick here, while we're in here, shipbuilder, let's go weapons. so what do I got? I got 14, 30. Those are my cannons. So this cannon is 29 and 8. And this one is 22 and 6. I think I'm good with this guy. Then, oop. Then, where's the other one? Boom. Okay. And then this is 3 and 9. Alright, so 3 and 9. What is the Chego? It's 12 and 12. Proton beam. 18 and 18. Electron beam. 13 and 13. 21, 21. Hold on a sec. What engine do I have? That's a grab drive. Wait, what is the grab drive? It's a B. Okay. 8 and 25. That might be the way we go. Wait, or 11 and 38. That's how we rock. First things. Alright. You. Torch. Okay. And then where's the other torch laser? Okay. And if we want one more, because I don't think we can do 2. Alright. Just trying to think. Where else could it go? And missiles. 47 and 47. Oh, heck yeah. Are you kidding me? We are now OP. OP. Alright, let's get out of there. And then let's look at our ship. What do we got? Alright, we got Hope Tech living quarters. Hope Tech living quarters. Control station. Yep. Captain's quarters. And an all-in-one berth, which gives you 2 passenger slots. I think we're good there. I think our engines are good. Our maneuverability sucks, but I can't think of any way to improve it. We got probably one of the best. Is our shields. Yep, that's as good as we get on the shields. Yep. Wait. Did I see 6? Ooh. Ooh. Excuse me. Pardon me. Boom. Boom. Alright. My mass is getting up there, but I think we're doing good. There we go. I don't think there's. Oh, there are. Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, if we push come to shove, if we wanted to keep it symmetrical, kind of, we could do like that, and then not have anything right there. What's our equipment availability? That's all we got. Okay. I am very pleased with that. Let's see. Excuse me. Yeah. All right. Boom.
The Skydrop system has been successfully integrated. I trust Torin has explained how it all operates. Naturally, you'll need flares to call one down. So, take these. That's all I have to hand right now. However, you can always craft additional flares, assuming you have the necessary materials. I may also be able to fabricate more for you. Be sure you check my personal stockpile from time to time. For now, that's all I can do for you. I hope it's enough.
Thank you. You've been very helpful.
We appreciate it, Gren. Really. But are you sure there's nothing else? Not to sound ungrateful, it's just...
So far, everything I've made has been reverse engineered from Watchtower hardware. The fleet command system, the Skydrops. In theory, I could upgrade these things. But I'd need specialized components. Watchtower components.
Well, in that case, if we come across any Watchtower materials, we'll be sure to let you know. Ha! We have a fleet! Yes, right now it's only 2 ships, but it's still early days. I'm sure we'll figure out a way to expand. Now, I do believe the delightful Miss Harper requested your presence. So, let us visit her, post-haste.
Okay. And then he won't do anything else for
Is
us.
this about a ship?
Oh, you have anything for sale?
Your Skydrop inventory is already at full capacity. No resupply needed.
Okay. You got anything for sale?
I've gathered some things you might find useful.
Look at that. Look at that. Hold on. Very first thing we find very useful. You don't have. You don't have. That's helium. Helium would be very useful right now. But he does have a lot of money. So we'll look at that in a minute. All right. What do you got any ship fuel? You got ship parts. Any ship fuel? No ship fuel. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey. Okay, nothing is going to do us any good. Okay. Hey, by the way. All right. We got tons of stuff that can be sold here. What's going on with the Trackers Alliance spacesuit? Dang, we got all his money. We just made back all our money. All right.
I assume I'm dismissed.
Oh, I didn't notice this. Look. That's not good.
What's the plan?
All right. Back upstairs. Okay.
Keeping well?
So right now we got young Miss Harper that we need to talk to. And then I think with this character, we need to head on over to Sidonia at some point too. I kind of want to go and do the Ramtech AI stuff with him. I'm not sure though. Because I like some of the things it does to our ship, but I don't like everything. And um, the one big issue I have is what it does with cargo, more so than anything. And I think it goes OP to everything else. Everything else becomes OP, but the cargo is just it's got me jacked. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, but yeah, so that's where we're gonna stop right now, guys. I'm having a ball with this one here. Is funny because it turned out that I was just testing the alternate start mod or save file. It wasn't even a mod, it was a save file, alternate start save file. And I'm just having a good time with the character and what we're doing. And I actually enjoyed Everbright, so that was a good mod, quest mod there. And I'm enjoying. See, the thing is, this compared to Melius is just night and day. I'm enjoying this playthrough and this set of mods with Darkstar game Overhaul and Bedlam. The whole combination of mods I'm really enjoying way more than the whole Melius and that suite of mods. Star UI was like, for me, Praxis
and unsettling.
inventory is just way better. It is way better than Star UI, in my opinion. Not to, um, belittle or to really, say, hey, yeah, that this one sucks. It's just I prefer it. I prefer this to what you saw there. Now there are some bonuses to Star UI, but I don't know. I'm just having an all right time. I'm just having a good time with this. I'm used to it. It feels good. It feels comfortable. The bullet spongy enemies don't bother me so much. Um, and then, like I said, all the other trade-offs that you would have to give up for the other items in the mod list, the royal art, the royal stuff, and those things, they just, I gotta be honest with you, it does, the change doesn't appeal to me. It didn't feel good. It wasn't comfortable. And like I said, if you take this thing right there, that reticle away from me, you will have one pissed off, disgruntled person on your hands. And that's never going to be a good thing. And again, and don't get me wrong, it's like some people, it's like, it's they say it's immersion breaking, is, you know, then your imagination isn't strong enough, right? For me, this is me, man. I like it, I need it, I want it, right? And it doesn't break it. My immersion is my immersion. I mean, if you really want to break it, make me use 10 clips on an enemy. That's gonna break my immersion, right? Make me frustrated as all get up, because
That means I've lost interest.
I can't play with the style that you're trying to force me into. Yeah, that's gonna break my immersion. You know what I'm saying? And worst off, what it's gonna do is not make me want to play. And you know, like I said, F the immersion thing. If it's at a cost of me not enjoying myself, not having fun. That's what this is all about. Is to get in and then enjoy what you're doing and to do the stuff that you like doing. And me getting frustrated and annoyed and pissed off, that's what real life is for. That's what watching politics on TV is all about. That's what watching all the crazy, crappy stuff that happens out in the real world. That's the, that's where the annoyance lies. That's where the aggravation lies. That's where, all this, the sucky stuff is, right? When I come in here to play this game, I need to, this is my time to disconnect. This is my time to get lost in my imagination, to get lost in my sense of wonder, to get lost in my sense of adventure, right? You're just giving me this here. Bethesda is just giving me the tools, but the application and the process by which I get lost, I get immersed, I imagine, that's mine. And it's not for Bethesda to do for me, it's for me to do. It's for me to take the tools they provide me and for me to get and seek my enjoyment and seek my disconnection from all the bad things and bad people out here, ruining our country. So this is how you break loose. And this is how you just say, you know what, for the next 2 hours, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to have a good time. And again, like I said, so it becomes, well, what's going to help me have a good time with this, right? And a lot of it's going to be me doing it my way, the way I want to do it. Not your way, not their way, not, it's my way, the way I want to do it. And, the cool part is the dynamic of, like I said, character building, conversations. I can't control those. I can't make those better, but, how I react, I can control. Who I choose to talk to, who you choose to romance, who you choose to, carry along with you, what missions you choose to do. Those are all on you. If I want 100% the game, then I'm putting more restrictions on what I'm allowed and not allowed to do. Or do I want to just immerse myself into all the things I want to do and get out of the game? And then that is what changes. And that is what makes, like I said, games like this, Starfield, Skyrim, Fallout, Mass Effect, all those games, they're all, the main thing they have in common is the ability to but still limited to your using your imagination. The most you can get out of any of those games is what your imagination can give you, what your desire can give you. And then once you start saying this game, once you start, how do you say, handcuffing and, hamstringing your imagination because maybe this particular part isn't, exactly the way you want it. Well, figure out how to get it the way you want it. I don't usually play games I can't mod. If I can't mod the game, then I usually don't choose to play it. Because then now you're stuck. You're stuck playing it their way, that way, and it's like, well, that's not the way I like to play. And that's why, for me, you probably won't ever see me do a blind playthrough, right? If I say it's only blind because I've never played it, but, that would be more of a first time playing rather than a blind playthrough. Most of the time, every game that I ever play, I watch as much about it as I possibly can, because I refuse to play a game that I know nothing about, that I absolutely know nothing about. And here's why. Because if I get into a game and it immediately doesn't allow me to do this, that, or all the things or to do it the way I want to do it, I am pissed. I am so disgusted by it. And then I'm like, I just wasted my money. I just wasted my money and my time because this isn't something I like. Like, I've watched playthroughs of God of War. I've watched playthroughs of Elden Ring. I've watched playthroughs of many a games and go, yeah, Sekiro. And I'm like, yeah, that's not me. That is not me. And then the harder you make a game, is not the better. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like sometimes some of these survival games, these just survival sandboxes, Conan Exile. Was There's a couple of others, Sons of the Forest, uh, Valheim, and games like that. No, no, they're just not my kind of game. They're not what I want to do. I mean, the survival aspect of it, yes, I do want to incorporate that into some games like this, right? I wouldn't mind bringing in a survival aspect and saying, yeah, we got to craft and do whatever, but I don't want to give up storyline. I don't want to give up character building. I don't want to give up, companions and followers and all those things. I don't want to give those up. That's because without those, what fun is the game? You know what I mean? I don't need to play online with other people. I don't like to play online with other people. So I don't need that, but I do want a companion in game, you know, and companions. So yeah. So I don't want other players. I want companions and followers and such, right? I want NPCs in my game. You know what I'm saying? I don't want PvP. I don't want, to me, that's a waste of my time. It is, because I don't want to play other people. I don't want to go out killing other people. You know what I mean? I want story. Plain and simple. So it's, and then that's what one of the things I say, and I will always stick to is this, right? Every game isn't made for everybody.
Whatever you're doing, it looks very intense. Proud of you.
So, every game isn't for everybody, and everybody's playstyle isn't for everybody, and, more power to you. If you like the game, the harder the better. More power to you. Go do you. You know what I mean? I want a bit of a challenge, but again, I don't want frustration. Life is frustrating enough. Games don't need to be. So there you have it, guys. Please comment. Let me know what you think. If you disagree, let me know. You know what I'm saying? But for me, a game that I can immerse myself into and build my character and do the things the way I want to do them, as much as I want to do them, are, to me, the ultimate types of games for me. So we will see you next time. And I think then my next one up is, as much as I still want to keep doing more stuff with Finn, I think I got to get back to Rona and Sydney. I think I'm going to try to stick with maybe those three for now. And I got to incorporate some more stuff into all those. I got to get Benjamin Dune going some more. So you can see there's a lot of mods. There's a lot of things I got to incorporate into the game. And so we got to keep going. All right. So until next time, guys, we'll see ya. All right. Thanks for being here. Bye.